Welcome back to the Midlife Grace Podcast. Yes. Well, today is another Me Podcast special guest, and I'm so excited to bring on guests that add value to you, our listeners. I met this beautiful girl through a Facebook group, and we had a lovely chat. And I'm really just so honored to have her here on the show today. You know, she is a international best-selling author. She is known as the force of nature and is a clutter expert. Don't we all need that, right? You know, as a sexual abuse survivor, she grew up depressed, suicidal, and she was always surrounded by clutter. And what she realized was after coming back from the brink of despair and getting through all the chaos, you know, getting through the chaotic things, it was that the outside is just a mirror image of the inside. And if you only address the outside, well, guess what? The clutter is going to keep coming back. So that set her on a mission to empower people around her and around the world to get free from clutter inside and out. You know, so that you can experience happiness, abundance in every area of your life. You know, Mel's story is just amazing, and I'm so excited to bring this woman on, and her name is Mel Mason. Welcome to the show, Mel.
Oh, Ginger, thank you so much for having me. I'm so glad that we connected. I love how God works and puts
Yes.
people in your path, and you just never know what's going to happen. So, such an honor to be here with you. Thank you so much for having
Thank
me.
you for being on, Mel. Well, I want to know, what's your story in all this? What is it?
What's my story? That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so as the clutter expert, I did not get that name by accident. And I didn't name myself the force of nature. Actually, one of the council members in Palm Desert
Wow.
named me that, introducing me for my speech that I gave to my graduating class as valedictorian. But yeah, I was named the force of nature. The greatest force of nature to hit the Coachella Valley is what I was called. And so I'll take it. If somebody else names you it, I'll take it, right? But as
Yes.
the clutter expert, I
It's a
was the
powerful
clutter mess.
name. It was a powerful name. It is a powerful name.
Yes, the force of nature. Yes, yes, yes. The unstoppable force of nature, right? But
Right.
as the clutter expert, I didn't get my name by accident. I was the cluttered mess. Now, I never went to school and studied this. Like everything that I share with my clients is from my own personal experience, from me walking this path and getting through my own chaotic mess because you couldn't walk in my room and when I was a kid. And most people have pathways, like you got these little pathways you could
Right.
see from
Right.
like the door to the bed or the door to your desk, right? Like no,
Right.
mine was completely covered and I had filth and trash and really, like if you walked in my room, you better have a life insurance policy because you'd probably break your neck.
You remind me of my brother. I used to dig around in his room, and under the bed would be bowls of mold growing from food bowls he left in the room. Really?
Oh my God. Yep. Just like me, just like me. But so eventually, like every once in a while, my mom would get pissed off enough because, moms do that, and she would
Yeah.
clean my room, right?
Yes. Yes. That's what
And it
moms
would look
do.
really good. She did an amazing job. She was super organized, right? Not me. And what would inevitably happen is in no time, my room was right back to the way that it was, and she was shutting the door again.
Good
But what I
thing for
didn't,
doors.
thankfully, right?
Yes.
But what I didn't realize is that the outside is just a mirror of the inside. And already at such a young age in my life, I was littered with clutter on the inside.
Wow.
I had experienced a lot of traumatic events really early on in my life, from divorce to sexual abuse to abandonment, to losing my older brother to suicide when I was 15 years old.
Wow.
And when I lost him, it was almost the nail in my coffin. I pretty much had already not wanted to like be alive as it was. That's why my room looked the way that it did. But I finally had a plan, and I was going to end my life the way that my brother did. I was going to hang myself. And my
Wow.
high school was like, you are a danger to yourself and others, and you can't come back until you get intensive therapy.
Wow.
And what that looked like for a 15-year-old kid was getting shipped off to live in a residential treatment center for adolescents for the next year and a half of my life.
Mm.
And unbeknownst to me, that is where the greatest shift in my life happened because I didn't think anything would shift. I thought I wouldn't make, nobody thought I'd make it to my 18th birthday alive,
Wow.
never mind past my 18th birthday, right?
Wow.
But while I was living there, I was introduced to yoga and mindfulness. And ultimately, what that taught me was how to become willing to look at my inner clutter, all that stuff that had been accumulating from those traumatic events, which is all of the unprocessed emotions,
Yeah.
the limiting
Suppressed.
beliefs,
Suppressed.
the judgments, the resentments, the fears, all that stuff that accumulates, right?
Right.
But as a result of being willing to look, like here's what happened, and this is why I love what I do, is that I was never trying to get organized. Okay, Ginger, like I never said, oh, I should clean my room today, right? Or I should really get organized. But
Right.
what happened as a result of this willingness to look is that within about a year's time, I went from that chaotic mess who was fine living in filth to someone who had to have order and everything had to have a place and be in its place. And what that looked like was this spontaneous and effortless clearing of the clutter. I never once planned to clean my room. It just happened unconsciously, so unconscious that it wasn't until I launched my business years later and looked back at how the hell I went from that mess to where I am today that I even figured it out. Like it was that unconscious. I didn't even know what happened. So I'm like, wow, I spontaneously started creating order in my life from doing this inner work. And that's how I launched my business, was doing the inside out. And that's what I share with my clients is when you start from the inside out, the clutter actually takes care of itself. You don't have to force yourself. You don't have to drag yourself, and you don't even have to plan it. You will unconsciously and spontaneously start creating order and shifting things in your life. And then every area of your life also starts to get better, not just the clutter.
Yeah. Yeah. So why do you think all this clutter starts to accumulate?
Great question. I mean, it's so super simple. Everybody wants to know why. Like, why? Why do I hang on to this and why does it accumulate? Okay, I want you to listen up and I want you to listen closely. And if you have a pen and paper handy, write this down. Because there is one simple reason that clutter accumulates. But before I tell you why, you need to understand something. Just like in the universe, we have laws in operation. We have the law of gravity, right? Do you have to believe in it for it to work?
Yes.
No, you don't. If
No,
you don't have a building.
sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't know what you were saying.
No, so we don't have to, what the great thing about
What goes up must
you don't
come
have to
down.
believe. You don't have to
Right.
believe in them for the work. They're going to work whether you believe in it or not, right?
Right.
So there's another law in operation called the principle of correspondence. And it states, as above, so below, or as within, so without. So what that means is that your outside is always going to reflect your inside. Whatever you're seeing out there in your body, in your environment, in your relationships, whatever you're seeing, whatever you're noticing is a reflection. It's a mirror reflection of what's going on within you, right? So now we know the outside is the mirror. So all clutter accumulates because one simple reason. There's this unwillingness to look at it. It's like, I don't want to look at you. I don't know what to do with you, so I'm just not going to look, right? So it starts to accumulate outside. But if the outside is just a mirror of the inside and you're not willing to look at what's going on out there, what do you think that really means? Not willing to look in here.
Inside. Yeah.
So all clutter accumulates from an unwillingness to look within. That's it.
Wow. Wow. So how do you keep all the clutter from coming back once you get rid of it?
Yeah, you have to start from the inside out. Like this willingness to look. And this is what I love. So people think I'm absolutely crazy until they start working with me. And I tell them, you can think I'm crazy all you want. As long as you do what I tell you to do, you'll get the results. And then they don't think I'm crazy anymore. They actually call it that Mel thing is happening. That Mel thing, that spontaneous clutter clearing is happening. But the truth of the matter is, your willingness, your presence is required first. The willingness to look and the willingness to look within. And what's beautiful about this is if, for all of my analyzers that are out there, like, what do you mean? I just need to be willing to look and I just start clearing clutter spontaneously in my life. What are you talking about? You're crazy, right? So let's look at it this way. So willingness, we'll look at willingness, is a higher frequency vibration. And we all know everything is energy already, right? Everything is energy, nothing is solid, it's all an illusion. So there's all these vibrational frequencies, right? So willingness, we'll call it the positive pole because it's the high frequency vibration, right? All of the inner clutter, all of that dense energy, we'll call that, because it's a lower frequency vibration, we'll call that the negative pole, right? And so we know from math class that when a positive and a negative come together, they cancel each other out, right? And that makes space. So
Right.
every time you become willing, just the willingness alone, you don't need to know what the inner clutter is. You don't need to go digging. You don't need to go on an excavation mission. Just your willingness to look and experience your experience in the moment, whatever your experience is, that willingness begins to create what I call corresponding space inside of you. And when you create the space within, because the outside is the mirror, what has to happen?
Mm-hmm.
Space has to open up outside of you. And it may show up in your physical space. It may start to show up in your body where you release weight, or you let go of people, or you stop consuming certain foods. Every area of your life will get better, not just the clutter.
Yeah, it's unhealthy having clutter. And, there are times when I have heard many times, don't have clutter, don't have mess. It's bad spirits. You're inviting bad spirits in. So I solely believe that. Solely believe that. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not,
absolutely.
So
Yeah.
tell me, I know that you have a book out right now. Can you share with me what your book's all about?
Absolutely. I mean, the book is called Freedom from Clutter, the guaranteed foolproof step-by-step process to remove the stuff that's weighing you down. And it's not about the stuff. The stuff is just the symptom. So it's my journey of how I went from the cluttered mess to where I am today, and then my step-by-step process that I share with people on how to finally get free from clutter in every area of their lives. And you can grab the whole thing for free at freegiftfrommel.com.
That's amazing. Well, is there anything that you would like to add today, Mel?
Yeah, I think the most important thing that I love to leave my audience with is, the bottom line is it is your birthright to thrive. Like you were born to thrive. It's your God-given right to thrive and be abundant. Doesn't mean you won't experience sadness and pain, right? Without struggle,
Exactly.
we
Right,
don't get strong. Like you have
right.
to have struggle to get strong, but you were born to thrive. And if you're not thriving in every area of your life, there's clutter. So the only requirement to get free from clutter in every area of your life so you can thrive is your presence. Your presence is required.
Mhm. Well, I know what you mean about clutter. I'm ADHD and they have a tendency to have little tiny piles and corners. So that's a whole nother topic, but we all kind of work the same way when we're cluttering. We're stacking it up, piling it here and there, and there's reasons why. And
Yes.
there's reasons why. Well, this was such a great high level conversation. I really appreciate you coming on and I really appreciate you sharing your book. I mean,
Yeah.
it's complimentary. Wow, that is incredible.
Yeah, well,
So,
as the clutter expert, I didn't want people to buy it and put it on their shelf so it just became clutter because that's what would happen, right?
a
It
dust
would just wind up on
collector.
the shelf collecting dust. But
Yeah.
if you like download the thing for free, then you come into my community. I'm constantly in generosity with my community teaching workshops and things for free. So you can always get great content from me just being in my community.
Yeah. So how can one find you, Mel?
You can find me. I'm the clutter expert. If you just Google the clutter expert on YouTube, Instagram, all the things, Facebook, but info at decluttering spaces is my email address. You can email me directly.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for joining us today. And if you are looking for a support community, listen, jump on over to the Successfully Radiant Women group. We just love and support women there. We all need help sometimes, and community is everything. Support and community is everything. And I am so grateful to be on this platform right now. And I would absolutely love to ask you to please download this podcast, subscribe, share it with the woman who needs it. When we do all these things, this is what helps women find us. And I can't wait to pop on another episode with you. And until next time, bye for now. Thank you, Mel.
Thanks, Ginger.